so people can go into today's YouTube meeting. Okay, so a couple of announcements. As you all know, progress reports go out this Friday, which means any missing work that you have, I'm receiving up until tonight, because tomorrow I gotta post stuff. In fact, maybe I'm gonna do somewhat of an all-nighter. I'm gonna stay up really late trying to grade stuff, trying to input grades. So if you're submitting stuff, shoot me a text. Let me know that you're submitting things. A lot of people's grades have improved because they've done their stuff. So it doesn't take much. All you got to do is go into Google Classroom, check the stuff that you've missed, and do them. Yeah, that's about it. Actually, I wanted to let you know, honey, I went in and I fixed the grade for the COVID-19 weeks off assignment that you submitted through the phone. So your grade improved. Okay, sweetie?
Okay.
So
Okay.
you got on that one. I'm still missing a lot of the common lits that you haven't done. So make sure that you get those in, okay, sweetie?
Okay.
And then I'm getting to start grading on the new stuff that I kind of been waiting for people to turn in. So if you haven't, you still got chance. Yes, Sable, go ahead, honey.
I wanted to let you know our power might be fluctuating too,
Gotcha.
and I might lose service
Okay, so I'm recording. I'm
before it does.
later on so y'all can watch it. It does go away, okay? All right, cool. And then I'm gonna shoot you an email today, Sable. Just be on the look. I need to ask you a favor, okay, honey? If she heard me. Did you hear me?
What was that?
I'm gonna send you an email around 2, 3-ish, asking you for a favor. Not much. I need you to write something for me. So be on the look, okay? Check your email a little later on. All right, cool. So everybody else, if you're missing assignments, again, you have a chance until tonight. Again, I'm staying up late to grade late stuff that you may be turning in. I'm doing that for you. So please, please, please take advantage of it. If you're missing common lits, which is the most common thing that people may be missing, if your speech isn't in yet, get it in. It takes 5 minutes. All you gotta do is zoom in. I won't even ask you to turn on your camera. I'll just listen to you and give you your points. I know Kate did that last week and it was super easy. I think easier than what she ever thought it would be. So make sure that if your speech is not in, that you get it in, because that's bringing a lot of people's grades down, okay? All right, and of course the latest assignments that we've done on Google Classroom. Okay, so today we are going to share my screen with you guys. And I was hurrying into this meeting and ending the other one. Close those things. All right, so now let's get going into our English class. And I have toned it down a bit on the assignments just because I really want you guys to catch up. Okay, there's Mr. Wentler and Mr. Brian. Then, all right, put that away. So I've really toned it down on the assignments. I actually haven't posted anything or asked you guys to do much. Last class you didn't have homework. This upcoming class you will. But I just wanted to give you guys a couple of updates on this stuff. So starting now, when we come into class, you can see now under your classwork in your Google Classroom that we have 3 topics, right? We have a homework topic, we have a classwork, and we have an assignment sheet. In the assignment sheet, I haven't put anything yet, but in here, you'll find a checklist of the stuff that you need to get done starting from this week. So not for past weeks, but starting this week, I'll put the assignments into a checklist. So that way you don't have to be going to the class plans, you don't have to be, kind of going back and forth in doing things. So you'll find your assignments over here. Okay, and then Classwork, you'll find it here. So as I can see, there's a lot of people who posted their graphic organizer, but about 20 of you have not. So I need that done because those zeros are going in today. And then, as you can see, I've moved this homework. So anything that has to do with homework and classwork, it'll be posted in this topic. It's like a little folder that I created. So not everything will be on the classwork, okay? So from now on, when I post stuff to be turned in, it's either gonna be a homework or a classwork, okay? All right, so with that said, we're gonna start for today. Let me go grab our PowerPoint that we're using. Is it here? That's it. Okay, there's more people coming in. Awesome, there's Mr. Braden. Okay, so go ahead and grab your notes. We are looking at credit score and all those things. And I've gotten a couple more projects that I wanted to show you guys in terms of what you'll do when we are done with this whole stuff. So let me go to my other class. Their projects are actually due today. Yours won't be due in about 4 more weeks. That's when they'll be due. But I want to show you just kind of a sample of what they're doing so you can start building ideas on what you can do. So I showed you last time a website. Let's see, this person did another website. I think she just, never mind, I don't think I may be able to go in it. Let's see. Oh, this one actually did an essay, so she just went in for the essay. Well, this one did a blog, I believe. Why am I not being able to go into them? No, I just want the link. Okay, so you see, this is what I want you guys to start doing. It's the graphic organizer, because at the end of when the project is due, I asked for the graphic organizer. I don't know why I can't go to her project. Open a new window. Oh, there it is. This is her project. She did I think I showed it to you last time. She did a blog, and you can see she has a bunch of stuff that we've been looking into. So yeah, this is what you guys are going to be doing in 4 more weeks. So all that we're doing is going to culminate in that. So that means I can see. It's going to culminate in that project. Here's this woman's. She did a website. Okay. So as you can see, this is not something that she took from another website. This is her own website. It's got little tabs. It's got a bunch of writing. That's what you guys are going to be doing, okay? And then here she got her sources. So yeah, that's what you guys are going to be doing in about 4 weeks. So letting you know, everything that we are doing now is going to count towards like all this information. You're going to be using it for your website. The readings that we have been doing, so far we've done 2 readings, Dave Ramsey's reading and how to build credit reading, which I'm debriefing as we go. There's Elena. So yeah, so you need to make sure that you're paying close attention, doing the reading and doing your graphic organizer. Those 3 things are going to help you majorly in major ways for your projects, okay? All right, so let's begin. So last class we were talking about APR, and today you'll have a little discussion question post, so I can make sure that you guys understand what APR is. But APR stands for annual percentage rate. APR and interest are exactly the same thing. Now, what is interest? Interest is the money added onto a debt, and it's usually called a debt balance. So we looked at Discover Card, which is a secured credit card, right? At least that one was. And we said that Abby, we used Abby as our example, right? We said that Abby took out a card, right? She got this card for $500. That's her credit limit. Make sure that everybody's in here. Okay, good. I see a lot of people. Okay. So Abby took a credit card for $500 and spent all her money on it, right? At the end of the month, she owed the bank $500. I'll put that into the notes. She owes bank $500. Of course, her interest is up really high because she's never had a card. She's all new to this. So her APR is 23%. So what the bank does is it adds on 23% of the balance. This is the balance, $500. So what happens is they multiply 500 times 0.23, that's to get the percentage, which equals $115. Now what they do is they add on to the original debt, which was 500. So now Abby owes a grand total of $615. Now, if Abby would have paid some money off, even if it wasn't $500, maybe she would have paid $100, her debt would have been lower. But this APR stays the same. It stays the same. It doesn't change. Okay? That's why it is recommended that a person, so for this reason, people should pay off their credit cards every month. What does this mean? This means you should have a balance, so remaining debt, balance or debt, that's what we call a balance, of $0. So every month, if you spend $30 on your card, you're gonna pay for that. If you spend $50 on your card, you're gonna pay for that at the end of your month. You do not want to transfer debt from one month to the other one because they're gonna charge you interest. It's like they let you borrow money, but now because they're letting you borrow money, they're gonna charge you for it. APR is silly. No one should be paying for interest. No one should. If you know how to manage your cards wisely, you should never pay for interest, okay? Yes, there are circumstances in which you won't have money, but remember, you plan ahead. Franklin once said that if you don't plan, you're planning to fail. So if you don't have a plan, you're actually planning to fail. You're gonna fail at some point because you're not planning ahead. So what do? You get a credit card. You know in your head that's not your money, right? You're only gonna use it to build a small amount of credit. You should only be spending 5 to 10% of what you have in your card. So if you got $500 on your card, your limit spending should be $50, no more than that. Because how easy is it to pay $50 versus $500? Well, 50 is much easier. And even if you didn't pay $50, 50 times 0.23, it's about $1 or $10. Let's say it's $10, right, of interest. That's not much. You're not gonna owe them $600. You're gonna owe them $60. That's not gonna affect you that much. So you plan ahead to not use your cards as much. Yes, there are emergencies, but what do you have in your bank for emergencies? What is it called? Seth? What have we learned that people should have in their bank accounts or somewhere stashed? What is it called for emergencies?
An emergency fund.
Very good. So are you gonna go to your credit card so you can pay for your broken car? Or are you gonna go to your emergency fund to pay off for your broken card?
Well, I would go to the emergency fund.
Very good. Yes, thank you. It's gonna deplete it. You're going to take away from it, but you're not using debt. You're not falling into debt. Okay? That's why it's very important for you guys to understand interest and APR are dangerous. You don't, and this is probably one of the big reasons why people don't like credit cards, is because of interest or APR, which is the same thing. Okay? But again, if you're learning, if you're planning ahead and you're managing your debt, not falling into too much debt, you can do this. You can build your credit wisely. Okay? All right. So here are a couple more ways. We looked at those. You're going to include that information. And we left off here. So how is your credit score calculated? Well, we said 300 is really bad. It's a really bad credit. But a person never starts, put that in your notes. A person never starts with a 0 credit. No one has 0. Everybody starts off at 300. Okay. I think the limit now may be even 900, but we're just going to keep it with 850. That's excellent score. You have almost no debt. You know how to manage your credit cards. You, as a high school graduate, fresh out of high school, you're not gonna be at an 850 right away. Know that, understand that, okay? But if you manage well, if you start building your credit, maybe through a credit card, maybe through a small loan, whatever it is that you get to build your credit, you're going to get there in not a lot of years. I've seen people who are 21 and they have an amazing credit score. They can do a lot of things with their credit score. Or the other way around, right? You can neglect your cards. You can neglect your debt, never pay on time. I don't really care about this. And guess what? You're going to be 20 something and you're going to have a really bad credit score. No one's going to take you out of there unless you start working towards it. So it takes work. At the end of the day, a credit score is not obtained easily. It takes a lot of discipline, takes a lot of making payments on time, communicating with companies if you can't make payments, etc. So here's the percentages. Go ahead and copy those. Your payment history stands at a 35%, meaning this score counts for 35%. This is almost like a grade book, if you will. You know how our independent reading is 30% of the grade, your essays are like 20%, homework is like 10%. It's like that. These are the percentages that go into factoring out or figuring out this whole credit score. So as you're young, 18 years old, right out of high school, you don't have a history. You've never had a credit score. Well, that's going to affect you to keep you in the 300s, right? As time passes, so let's say you're 19, it's been a year since you started your credit score. Now you have some history. Now your score can start going up towards maybe the 400s, the 500s. And that's still pretty risky. Like if you try to go get a car at the dealer with the 500 credit score, you wouldn't get it. They'd be like, we're sorry, but we can't lend you this car unless you get somebody to co-sign with you. That would be another story. And I tell you because that happened to me. Again, I always tell you guys my story. Maybe I have you bored with it, but I didn't know any about this credit stuff. I ran away as far as I could from it. I was like, nope, I don't have a stable job right after high school. I'm a waitress at this restaurant. I don't intend to go into debt. I'm good to go. So that was a mistake. I ignored it because I didn't know anything about it. And I also didn't put it in my head that I could learn. I always just said, no, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And so I hit 25 and I really needed a car. I went to the dealership and I said, I need a car. And they said, okay, here's your credit score. You have no credit, miss. We can't give you your car. So the way I got my car is one of my friends signed in and I was able to get my card. Now my credit score has gone up. It's somewhere here. in the yellow and the green. So it's building, but it's taken me 2 years to build it. When I could have done this since I was 18, you know I could have managed it. If somebody would ever told me that you could get a secured credit card and you could put $50 on it and pay them off for every month, I could have been set. You know, I could have been able to get my car without having anybody signing in for me. So that's also one of the reasons why I decided to do this for you, not have yet another book to read or another stuff to read, but this, because this is really, really important. And I know, except for Sable, all of you guys are super young. You're like, why are we talking about this? I don't care. Never gonna have a credit. Trust me. When you're 18, your life is gonna be much different than what it is now. So that's why we're taking time for this. Payment history, 35%. Amount owed, 30%. If you owe $50, you're really good. If you owe $10,000, your credit score goes down. Your length of credit history, how long have you had it for? 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years? It affects you. New credit, 10%. That's if you're getting cards here and there. Maybe you got a card for Lowe's. You got a credit card for the store, Victoria's Secret, whatever store you get a credit card. If you get a lot of cards, your score goes down. And that's because they're thinking you're running out of money and you need credit cards, okay? And the types of credit used, that's 10%. These two are very minimal. These 3 are the ones that affect you the most. So you need to make financially wise decisions, okay? All right, so while we are here, because if I leave it for homework, a lot of you guys aren't going to do it. So because we've come to the end of this, let me go to English 9. Okay, so I'm going to post a discussion question. Actually, yeah, a question here. So I'm going to say, how does APR or interest work when getting a secured, or just not secured credit card, when borrowing money? Because remember, cards, even though they're secured credit cards, it's like borrowing money every month, okay? When borrowing money. And I'm talking about secured credit cards, loans, etc. So any other kind of thing. Okay, so that's going to be due right now. I'm going to give you guys 10, maybe 15 minutes. That's going to be 30 points. We're going to add it into the classwork topic so that it's going to be on that folder. And yes, you can edit your answer. And I'm going to ask that question. Now, I want the question, so it's right here under classwork. You go to classwork on the topics, and you click on the question, and you here have create a doc. You're going to create a doc and answer the question. Or you can just, you don't have to create a doc. You can just write it out right there where it says your answer. Now, I want you guys to use the PowerPoint as your reference, okay? So this is where we have been talking on. We're talking about APR and how it works, okay? So take about 15 minutes to answer the question, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, let's see. I'm gonna pause the recording, so stop share. I'm gonna pause